Welcome back to Enough to Be Dangerous. I'm Mike.
I'm Paul. Today we're making number 11 muzzleloader percussion caps.
At our last monthly shoot, someone mentioned how hard it was to find caps, and we explained that we make our own.
So that's why we're making this video. So let's go over the supplies we're going to need. So this kit I got from a website called 22lrreloader.com. This video is not sponsored. That's just where I got it from. So you buy the punch separately. This was, I think, 50 bucks. This is like a two-part thing. You stick your strip of aluminum in this little slot here, and then you hammer down the punch on top of it, and the cap will pop out. And then you buy the primer compound. This is a brand, I think it's called Primal. It comes in 4 parts, and the instructions tell you how much of each part to use. And the kit comes with a little measuring scoop. There's a big one and a small one. The kit comes with instructions how to mix the compound and how to load your caps. So what you're gonna need besides the kit that you get from the website is an aluminum can. It does have to be aluminum or at least not magnetic. So like a soup can isn't gonna work, it's too thick. You can use aluminum. I've seen people use like copper sheeting, which is totally fine. It works great, but that's just another expense. Aluminum cans, most people just have laying around anyway. Another thing you're gonna need is acetone. So the instructions say to mix the 4 parts, you'll load it into your cap, and then you put a drop of acetone in the cap that will activate the binder inside of it that will hold the primer together. For this application, I found this binder to be junk, honestly. So here's the thing. I'm thinking this kit is intended to reload like 22 rimfire cartridges. And now I've never reloaded a 22 cartridge, and I'm wondering if when you make the compound and pack it in there, you're packing it around the edge, and then you're packing more stuff on top of it. So I don't think it's much of an issue doing it that way. But for this application, when we load these caps, there's nothing holding it in there. So this binder, I don't think is really adequate. So I am shamelessly ripping this off from another video I found on YouTube, and I am so sorry. I don't know who made that video, but they used this Duco. I heard somebody call it Ducko. This cement, you mix it like 1 part Duco with 4 parts acetone. This is just an old beard oil bottle I had that had the glass dropper. That's why I used it. We're gonna use this as our binder instead of this. Now you could still mix this into the compound and use both. That's totally fine. I found it to just be an extra step. You don't need this for the cap to work. So I wound up just leaving that out altogether and using the cement as my binder. Okay, another thing we're gonna need is something to tamp down the compound after we put it in the caps. I use just the back end of a paintbrush. It's flat and it's just about the right size that it fits inside of a cap. I think we are ready to start making some stuff. We are gonna cut up our can.
So basically we just need to cut the top and the bottom and then split it down the sides.
Right. You could use scissors, tin snips, a sharp knife, or a crappy dull knife. That works too.
We just need a straight sheet of aluminum.
Yep. You just need a sheet of aluminum. Like I said, some people have used copper sheeting. You probably get aluminum sheeting, but tin cans, it's like perfect.
And free.
And free. All right, we got our aluminum cut out. Now, what we need to do is cut this into strips about 3/4 of an inch or so. So then what we're gonna do is take our punch. You'll notice this has a little slot right here. We're gonna stick this paint side down. Okay. And you wanna look inside of here and make sure that all you see is aluminum, okay? You don't want to see a gap. You see that? You do that, your cap's going to be uneven, everything's going to fall out on one side. So all the way in there, and then we set our punch inside of there. Now, you're going to want to use like a rubber mallet or wood, or if you don't have that, you could use like a regular hammer, just put like some tape on it or something. You're not marring this up. You know, it can only take so much before it's just not usable anymore. You could probably even just use your hand. See? So you're going to drive that down, you're punching a hole through the aluminum, and when you pull this out, turn it upside down, and then out falls your new cap. Okay? So now we're going to just rinse and repeat. So if you look inside of here, you see that overlap there? You don't want to see the other hole. If you do that, again, your side's going to be short. So you want to make sure that all you've got is aluminum inside the hole. So now, I found that not every single one is going to be a winner, because if you look at this one, I don't know if you can tell.
It's a little hard to...
How, you see how wonky that is?
Oh, yeah.
It's like kind of one-sided. So you may have some that don't quite make the cut, and that's fine, because we've got plenty to go around.
One can is enough to make a lot.
Dozens, probably. So be picky. Let's go ahead and stumble through the instructions and see if we can't figure out how to mix this stuff up. So now the kit comes with this little scooper, okay? You got two sides. You got a small side and a large side. So let's go ahead and start scooping some stuff, okay? So L2, we'll start with L2. 2 large scoops of L2. So now you may be asking right now, well, what's in those baggies? That is a great question. I'm not a chemist. I don't know. You mix them together, you smash them, and they go bang, and that's all I need to know. I could probably look it up and tell you what Wikipedia says about it, but I don't know if that's going to get any of us very far. All right, we got our 2 scoops of L2. We're going to go ahead and do our 1 large scoop of L. That's fine. Okay. Now we're going to do 1 small scoop from each bag marked S. All right. Now we are sort of in what you might consider the danger zone, because this is our compound. Once this is mixed up, in my experience, it takes a significant shock to make this stuff go off. But say I mix this up and then poured it out and smashed it with a hammer, it's going to go off. Okay, so we got to be careful. And I'm going to use the scooper, kind of break up any clumps.
I guess it's pretty important to know that everything is plastic. We're not using any metal.
That's true. In the instructions, it does say don't use a metal container. I'm using just a little plastic mixing cup. I'm using plastic utensils. Wood is fine. So now we got our compound mixed up. Sans binder. It doesn't make much. Look at that. It doesn't take much, and we're going to make, I want to say like 10 to 12 caps out of this.
That's so little amount.
There's hardly anything.
Now, if you wanted to quadruple,
you certainly could. Although I wouldn't recommend quadrupling a batch. I would do it in separate batches just because of the danger involved, the volatility of this compound.
If this
were to go off, you know, me sitting here, I'd be fine, right? And even if you quadrupled it, probably be fine. But the more compound you have, the bigger risk you're taking. So if you're gonna do, say you wanna make 100 caps, I would mix it up in small batches. Personally, that's what I would do. Okay, so now we are ready to start loading our caps, okay, that we made earlier. I've seen people do it just on a workbench, okay? They set the cap down. I've seen them take a strip of that aluminum and just kind of roll the end of it to make a little funnel and pour it in here. I am fortunate enough to own a 3D printing company. Not everybody has 3D printers at home. I do. So I went ahead and printed myself a few tools here to make my life a little easier. So I printed this tray, okay, and it's got little holes for the caps. So we got our 15 loaded up here. Now you'll notice this little ring around here. I went ahead and made myself a small funnel. This will index directly over the cap. But again, you don't need this. This was just something I came up with. So I made this for me, just to make my life a little bit easier. If this is something that you're interested in doing and these tools are something that interests you, shout it out in the comments. If there's enough interest, I'd be happy to make this commercially available. Our next step is to start filling these caps. The instructions say to use the small end of the scooper and fill it approximately 1/3. Being that I have the 3D printers, I went ahead and just made my own little scoop. I did the maths and figured out about 1/3 of the volume of that and just made a little scoop for it. Again, if it's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments. Now we're gonna take our compound, and each cap is gonna get one teeny tiny little scoop. Okay, it's so small, a lot of it's sticking to the side. So our brush, here we go. I'm just gonna take that and just kind of brush down the sides, push it all down into the cap. We're gonna go ahead and do as many as we can out of this little batch. So we got 15 caps out of one batch, and there's actually just a little bit left in here. Okay, so we are ready for the next step. Pure acetone and that Duco cement. So per the directions, we're going to take 1 drop. So we are going to let this sit. See you in 5 minutes. The next step is to go back and pack everything in. All we really had to do was wait for the acetone to soak in to the powder. So now I've got this paintbrush here. It's flat on the end and it's just about the right size. I'll go in and just press it down. We've got our homemade caps complete, but they need to sit and cure for 24 hours.
We have some that we've already prepared. We're gonna go outside and do a side-by-side comparison of ours and commercially bought.
This is the commercially available number 11 CCI percussion cap. And this is our number 11 homemade cap.
Hopefully you enjoyed our video on homemade percussion caps.
Couple drawbacks of these homemade caps: they burn a little bit dirtier, which isn't a huge deal because we're cleaning these things after we shoot every time anyway. Another problem is that they do not fit inside of a typical capper, so we have to load them one at a time just by hand. Again, if you're interested in any of those 3D printed tools that I made, the tray, the funnel, the little scoop, drop it in the comments and let me know. If I get enough interest, I'm happy to share that with everybody. I don't know about a price point, but we can figure that out later. Thanks for joining us on Enough to Be Dangerous.
If you like what you saw, give us a like and subscribe.
Ready?
Did you do makeup?
I'm not telling.
Okay. We gotta have lots of...
Well, we say a lot of stupid crap.
Yeah, we do.
So, that was good.
Yeah.
Cut, print. That's a wrap.
Send it.
Let's get lunch.
All right. Taco Bell.